Today, I'll be talking to you about your slots gambling goals as you walk or run along your slots journey. I've identified three top goals of slots enthusiasts: entertainment, earning money, and complimentary gifts. Of the first two, both making money and having fun are fine goals, but are you achieving them? Are you achieving it as you amble along on your slots journey? If not, what's keeping you from your goal? Please share what your goal is in the comments below or in the live chat. And if something is keeping you from achieving it, what is that something? And of course, I'll be taking your questions because this is a live stream. I'm only saying that because, of course, the people who are live here now know it's a live stream, but you might be watching this after the fact. Hello to you watching this recording. Thank you for being here, and be sure to subscribe for notifications so you can have your questions answered the next time I do one of these. But either way, stick around, and I'm sure it will be of value to you, even if you are watching this after the fact. For those of you who are here live, thank you so much. If you have a question, please use hashtag question. That's so I can be sure to spot your question to me instead of comments to each other in the live chat. After all, this is also a community video where friends check in about how their slots play has been going lately. And thanks to the other creators of slots channels who are quietly watching my live streams. I'm glad so many of you have decided to watch. Educating yourself is important, and the gradual passing down of my concepts onto your audience members is how our gaming industry changes. So please enjoy the show. And if you have any questions, feel free to email me at john@professorslots.com. Improve your slots performance in 30 days or less with my 30 days to play slots smarter and win. You also get 3 free valuable bonuses plus 1 month free membership to my Slots Enthusiast Growth Network, where you'll get community support and accountability. Visit professorslots.com, and here it is, professorslots.com here. And if you go to professorslots.com/30 days, you'll come to my website with lots of testimonials and explanations. There's the here it is, the sections, various sections of the course, and what's going on in each one of them, and all the descriptions, what's going on with the Slots Enthusiast Growth Network. But you can also see it here, which is the sign up page. So the landing page was what I just showed, and this is the where you would sign up, and this is the current price. If you are still on the fence about whether to buy the course or not, remember that the price of the course is increasing tomorrow at 10 p.m. It will soon no longer be 50% off or $100 savings as of 10 p.m. Eastern, and as at tomorrow night. And as you can see from this countdown clock, there's a countdown clock. That's 1 day, 9 hours, 57 minutes, and 3 seconds away. So if you've purchased the course, you're good to go because you have lifetime access. But if you don't have the course, now it's time to get it. Time is running out. And I want to take a moment and thank a donation. Thank you, Chuck, for your donation. It is a super chat. You have a choice of a super chat, super sticker, and I think there's also a new one as well. And you can, if you're in the live chat, you can choose to do that at the bottom of the live chat. There's a little button there, a little dollar sign. And if you are interested in some other way to donate, that you might contact me, and there's PayPal, professorslots.com/donate, and different ways that you can do that if with lesser or greater fees. They all have fees, and it's just but thank you, Chuck, for the donation. I'm glad. He says, morning all, catching this live for a nice change. Yeah, you've had family events and other things. It's great to see you here, Chuck. Thank you. He is a regular donator. Okay, so getting back to the topic, casinos are distracting places. If you've been watching my live streams these last, nearly 3 years, 2.5, just over 2.5, you'll probably remember how distracted I used to get myself. And when I played, Squirrel, I have a dog now, so that has a lot more meaning. A puppy. He's 1 year old, Isaac. He's at my well, I was gonna say he's at my feet, but he's not. And so the cats are around as well. There's Kiri right over here. Anyway, um, he's somewhere else and being very quiet, which makes me very, very suspicious. But I'm getting distracted, and that was my point. So when I'm playing slots, my first time entering a casino, it was all dimness, flashing lights, smoke, loud sounds, and more. I clearly remember standing outside afterwards of a small tribal casino in the Upper Peninsula of Michigan after spending 50 bucks, 30 bucks of $30 of which I had not planned to spend, blinking my eyes and wondering what the heck just happened. Completely distracted. That was me, but I learned. Not quickly, but I've learned to be less distracted by this, my 128th live stream. As my sister says, you're slow, but you get to it eventually. You get there eventually. So what entertains us is a lot of different things. I mean, you might like some things more than others. Food, drink, the company of friends. You might even have a lot of fun winning money. But do you have fun updating your slots gambling spreadsheet? I know I do, but perhaps that's not for everybody. I suspect a lot of you do, though. And so I don't mean that you shouldn't have fun playing slots when your gambling goal is to make money. But does your having fun get in the way of making money at slots? Do you have to go to the casino when there's a lot of people there on a busy night? So you'd never considered going when a lot fewer people are there and miss out on that winning opportunity? Perhaps even go when all the restaurants are closed? If you're starving at 4 p.m., or excuse me, if you're starving at 4 a.m., Teresa from my Slots Enthusiast Growth Network recently told us that you could ask for a cookie from the casino's attached hotel at the registration counter to tide you over. Isn't that useful? Isn't that a useful tip? Thank you, Teresa. So some types of having fun can get in the way of achieving the goal of making money at slots. Fun can get in the way, can block you from following the money. Choosing when to go on wildly different days and times may not be fun, and making money can be blocked by having too much fun. That's an understatement of the year. Tell me, what's the largest jackpot you've won? Please comment below, put it in the live chat if you're here live. What is the largest hand pay you've gotten? Excuse me, what is the largest jackpot? It doesn't have to be a hand pay. What's money is money. So what's the largest, what's your largest winning? Mine was $27,000. If I don't include the cash prize of $40,000 for winning a car. But and how did you feel after winning that top jackpot, that jackpot, those winnings, your personal best? How did you feel when for my $27,000, I'd only ever won a couple of $5,000 hand pays before that? How did you feel after your largest jackpot? And I'm going to take a break and thank Eric for his $20 donation. He has a super, what is it? Super sticker. Sorry, I can't show it to you. You can see it on the live stream, in the live feed if you're watching on live, or even afterwards. I can't show it on the screen. But anyway, Eric gave a $20 donation, and his super sticker says, "You are amazing." Thank you so much, Eric. I appreciate it very much. Thank you. So, how did you feel after your largest win? It was an exciting experience, right? And having that much fun can affect your intended plan of what to do if you won. Leave? Why would I want to do that? This isn't even my money. Sure, I won and maybe even earned it, but I'm playing with the casino's money now. Woohoo! Believe you me, a lot of exciting thoughts can go through your head after a big win. This is encouraged by casino personnel with their script for slots enthusiasts. You're lucky, they might say, or I'll see you later when you win again. Gentle encouragement to spend your winnings goes a long ways. When you're, in a mood of having just won, you're susceptible to that gentle encouragement to stay and spend your money. Nobody from the casino will ever tell you, hey, maybe you've had enough and should get out of here while you still have some of your winnings left. They can get reprimanded for saying any such thing, if not fired from the casino. Making money requires a plan. You might say, well, I could just win. Well, what's your plan on getting out? How do you decide in advance what you plan to do if you win? Have 3 plans. First, what are you going to do if you win less than a hand pay? Leave or stay? If staying, are you going to spend all of your winnings? And if so, how much of it? Half? A quarter of it? All of it? Second, have a plan on what you're going to do if you win a hand pay, some amount from $1,200 to, say, $5,000. Again, are you going to leave or stay? If staying, how much of it are you planning on spending? Know in advance, because you won't be doing your best thinking after winning a hand pay. This is especially true for my third plan, the third plan I want you to have. What to do if you win a hand pay over $5,000, maybe way over, maybe the grand on your machine or the top line jackpot. Again, know what you're going to do in advance. That is, if your goal is to make money. If your goal is to be entertained entirely with no secondary goal of making money, then spending all those winnings is a lot of fun. But even if your goal is entertainment, maybe have plans then too to make your fun from that big win last for several trips. So either way, have a plan on how much of your winnings you'll keep, even if only until the next casino trip. Improve your slots performance in 30 days or less with my 30 days to play slots smarter and win. You'll get 3 free valuable bonuses plus 1 month free membership to my Slots Enthusiast Growth Network, where you'll get community support and accountability. Visit ProfessorSlots.com. ProfessorSlots.com there / 30 days there to get the information on the free bonuses, the course content, and testimonials. And but soon it will be no longer at 50% off for $100 savings. Tomorrow evening, the price increase will happen at 10 p.m. Eastern, and you can see on this countdown. You can see that on this countdown clock. If you've purchased the course, you're good to go because you have lifetime access. But if you don't have the course, now's the time to get it and get lifetime access. What I'm going to do is I'm going through another round of improving the course with more bullet points, not really changing too much of the information, but to give people who learn by seeing the written word to see the bullet points and the diagrams and the arrows and whatever is necessary for the topic being taught. I'm going to be adding that component to the current topics. And so I'm redoing that in that way, the course. And it's going to take me at least a month, right? 30 days if I do one day's topic per day. It'll take me a month, and then there's uploading and some other stuff that has to be done. So it's looking to be early August. When that comes out, I will be doing a second price increase. So make sure you get it now. Time is running out fast. Okay, and wow, donations have come in. Jason, thank you very much for your $22.11 donation. It's very appreciative. Your largest single jackpot was $10,000 on Buffalo Gold. Second largest was $7,000 on the same machine a few months later. $6 bets. Thank you for sharing. What do you mean, Paula? And And Magpie 11, thank you for your donation of $19.99. And it is, very much appreciated. Thank you so much, all of you who have donated today so far. Okay, let's take a look. And So, back and forth between different people. I'm looking for a hashtag question. I got one from Cheryl. Okay. It's great that you all talk to each other. But again, please take a look at the banner across the bottom of the screen. Please use hashtag question in your comment, your question, so that it pops out at me that I can see it. And we don't have too much dead air when I go looking for it. Okay, Cheryl says, when a casino gets rid of a slot with a jackpot, what happens to that money? They don't often. There is progressive machines where people have previously paid and some of that money goes towards raising the progressive jackpots. And when that happens, many states have laws about where does that money go. And there's a couple of things that can be done with that money, but basically it's got to be given back in one fashion or another. It can't be kept as profit by the casino. And just to make sure, so a casino gets rid of a slot with a jackpot. So if nobody collects the jackpot, you don't have your government issued ID, and that or don't want to share it, then they can't give it to you. And what happens to it? There's also people who are on the self exclusion list who have promised that they won't come in. In some states, that's an arrestable offense where they win a jackpot and if they show their ID, the casino, one of the checks they run is, did you put yourself on the statewide self-exclusion list with the Gaming Commission? And if so, in some states you can be arrested for that. Actually, I'm not real sure if you do get the jackpot then. But if you look at the return statistics, and not every state has them, monthly return statistics are only available in about 40% of the states, about 20 states. And so not about it is. And sometimes they have a line item, how much is won, how much is returned, how much people spent, how much people won, how much people, how much did the casino keep? And sometimes they'll also have a little line item. I'm not prepared to just dig it out and show you right now, but sometimes they say amount not assigned, amount that was not given away that people had won, and they have to report how much that is. And often every month will be like 00000. But if you go to I can't remember, is it Louisiana that has that? Then you can go down the different months and go, aha, and that month somebody won a big jackpot and it was not issued, it was not given to them, and so this is reported separately from profits. There's always more deeper questions. Where does it go from there? Certainly has to be reported. Yeah. And Daniel says his largest winning was $1,800 about 20 years ago. So you're saying it was like $10,000 because it was 20 years ago. Every year that amount goes up, and not just from the telling. I haven't gone to a casino in about 18 years. Okay. Just now going again after going through your course, which I really enjoyed. Thank you, Daniel. And good luck. And Temet says biggest jackpot was $25,000. I won at Belterra, not Park, right? Resort in Indiana, right? Belterra Park was where I won the car, and downtown Cincinnati was where I won the $27,000 for me. $4.40 bet. Yeah, okay. And welcome, Eric, new member, new course student, first live stream. Hope you enjoy. And thank you for being here. Let's see. Jeff says largest hand pay $7,200. Awesome. Pardon me while I take a sip of water. What's basically going to happen here is I'll take questions as long as there are questions. Um, but my voice will only last a total of 2 hours if basically, and we'll see how long the questions last. 2 hours at most. Fun says $975 on a progressive major. Picked playing Olympus Strikes at Two Kings. That's in but for people who know people who don't know, the new tribal casino in North Carolina, and the machine was newly installed. Awesome. And Chuck says largest win was $9,000 and a 75-cent bet, penny denomination. Mighty Cash double up. Felt great. Took it all home. I'm not surprised, Chuck. We've talked and talked and talked. You're good at that. The talking part. No, I mean getting it out of the casino part. Kidding. Um, Doug says largest hand pay was $7,000. Yeah, it's amazing. I see all these numbers and it's amazing. Yes, I got a $27,000 jackpot, but it was like a $20 bet on a high limit machine. I'm seeing a lot of penny slots, 50-cent bets, 75-cent bets. Amazing. Well done, everybody. Rick says largest hand pay 2,641 at Caesar's Palace in May. So that would be Las Vegas on the Strip. Wonderful. Congratulations. Very recent win. Cheryl says $4,000 on video poker. And yes, I ran and then brought back a little at a time later. Awesome. So yeah. Okay. And back and forth. That's wonderful. Yes. Am I going to have to buy you a new computer, Paula? But Paula, thank you, Paula. Paula is my moderator, and I appreciate her help. Sometimes we get party crashers that have no interest in slots, and they tell us exactly what their interest is, and it's usually something sweaty. So she's the one that zaps them for us. We all appreciate that. She helps out on the Tuesday live stream that I have at 7 p.m., but isn't available for the 3 o'clock Thursday, 3 p.m. Eastern time on Thursday live stream, and I've had to deal with that. And I notice a little bit later because I'm watching several things, and and so everybody says "ooh," and they by some of the comments, and I'm like, oh, sorry, let me get rid of that. Okay, we all good? Everybody got their done throwing up. Another question is keep asking your questions, keep telling your amounts. Daniel says, I live in Palm Springs, California, where I have 7 casinos within 30 minutes. Wow. I have more than that, but I have more than that, but it's more than that, right? I have, I think, 50 casinos, but it's like within 120 miles. So, so our state tribal gaming. So the question is, are tribal state gaming compacts substantially different, or would they be similar due to competition for local players? There's a lot of similarities. A large part of gaming regulations, whether they're in the state gaming commission or found in compacts, is to make sure that there's an alarm on the door, so that when the machine is opened by nefarious means, it sounds an alarm, or the way that ticket in, ticket out machines work, or the checks. So there's technical standards that for a lot of gaming regulations, it's part of that. Also, compacts, I think it seems to have a little bit more of the what to do if there's a conflict if there's, how to get vendors and how the vendors are authorized, the people who provide slot machines or any of the equipment in the casino, central server and all of that, and they all have to be, vetted and all of that. So they explain all of these things. But I think the section that you're talking about, it's amazing what the protections are in place, but some compacts actually have, and some state gaming commissions also have a minimum theoretical payout, and much fewer have a maximum casino payout. And then there might be return statistics being available and exactly where that would it be annual, and the details of it. Like for instance, Nevada will tell you in June what May's was, but if what the May returns were. But in Ohio, they're like 4 months behind, and it's not like they're late. It's their schedule, and so you can see some of these things in either the gaming commission, state gaming commission, rules and regulations, laws, statutes, but also in compacts. So there's those similarities, which is just so you have slot machines, and this is what goes into having slot machines, either at tribal casinos or commercial casinos. And are they substantially different? Um, every state's gaming regulation, every compact is different from every other state gaming regulations and state and tribal compact. They're all different from one another. Now they some states have tried to tackle this, try to fix this, and for instance, Oklahoma has the most number of tribal casinos. And one of the things that they do is have a model gaming compact. This is what you start with. You don't have to make it from scratch. And then, these are the sections with an underline where you put your number in. So it's a standard form for all those tribes. It saved money, but it also helps read them because you can just look for some of the number changes. But California doesn't have that. So every tribe in California has a different gaming compact. And if your state doesn't provide it, you can go to the, what is it? National Indian Gaming, no, National Indian Commission. If you go to the Bureau of Indian Affairs, you can find the what is it? National Indian Gaming Commission, NIGC. And if you go there, they have a searchable database with a lot of the compacts. Some of them, one of the things that is different between commercial and tribal compacts, and I don't mean to go on about this, but I find it fascinating, is that the tribal compacts usually are until perpetuity, meaning there is no end date. Some of them have an end date of 20 years or so, and then they have to be renewed, and everything has to be re-agreed upon. But a lot of them are until perpetuity, but you can't not update some of those because we all went from coins to ticket in, ticket out. And if you're going to have that, then you're going to need to change the gaming compact. So you can change the gaming compact if both parties agree on a change. And that's how coins, the section on being very good about having good quality control on coins, was changed to ticket in and ticket out, and having a good vendor and that equipment to be operational and quality level, so you don't have errors all the time. And then that's also the case for new technology coming out, new things that we might see, cashless slot machines, but it can be hard to implement, to insert that new technology. Well, it's hard in gaming compacts because everybody has to agree, but it's hard for the states too because they have to actually change the law, and and changing laws is not easy. Yeah. Eric asks the question, how long to keep testing 5-spin when getting 70-80% rate on taste but not seeing profit? So if you were to try the 5-spin method and you were getting less than 50% of those machines having tastes, then they don't have tastes. That's just too low of a number, and so you would never test it again. Well, you would wait 6 months to a year, or if the casino got purchased by somebody else, and then maybe check again. But it pretty much means you're done. But that's not what you asked. You asked, how do I determine whether or not um, uh, you can use the 5-spin method to check a casino? Not that it has taste, because maybe you've already done that, but you can come in and make minimum bets, and you can see if it's a good time to play. Because if you don't have a profit or break even, which is, if your goal is complimentary gifts, that's a great thing to just cycle all day long, not lose any money, not make any money, but you rise up in tier and pretty quickly with just cycling, 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 cycling. You spend, you win, you spend, you win, but you don't win more than you brought, but then you don't win less than you brought, and that's bankroll cycling. But if you're not seeing that, or you're not seeing a profit, then just make minimum bets and check out the situation. It can be a whole month can be bad. And I was recently asked the question. It was this week, I think. Is June? No, it wasn't this week. It was early in June and end of May. Is June a good time to go to Las Vegas? Well, uh, July is traditionally bad, and maybe the last half of June might be bad. You can still win, but you have to sort of overcome the challenge of it being June. Like January, February, you can still win, but you have so much more, you know, to overcome, because the casinos are tight. And but then not so much in April and May, and then back down June and July, and then it's basically seasonal. And then after Thanksgiving is like, woohoo, we're good to the end of the year, and then it just chops off. Whether it's New Year's Day or the January 2nd, right around that time, people go to Las Vegas and say, well, it's cheaper because it's not Christmas. And just last week they were winning, and what's going on? It night and day it changed. And uh, I've had fans and consultations where people are like, what's going on? It was great last week. Sorry, not only was it last week, it was last year. Yeah. So, so you can see if your casino is paying out by using minimum bets with the 5-spin method. Once you are assured they do give out tastes on 70-80% of them. But if they aren't doing it, if you never get a profit, then don't go as often. I mean, it could be like the whole month, and it's a shame, but we can't make them turn up the odds. We have to wait for them to turn up the odds, and that's my suggestion. And once again, welcome. Oh, uh, yeah. So I made a comment about getting my moderator, Paula, a computer, and Chuck is like the computer guy. So handoff complete, as we used to, as other people used to say to me at where I used to work, and it made them just so happy to give me their work. Um, and they got so upset when I did really well and better than they ever would. And then they were like, didn't see that coming. Anyway, Chuck is probably going to be like that. He's going to be like, well, I got you, Paula. I got you, Paula. And better than I ever would. So Doug says my $7,000 jackpot was on a Wonder for Fortunes 88 machine on a $1.20 bet, 30 cents times 4 games, playing at once. Awesome. Wonderful. Let's see. And Magpie says it was on a $5 progressive machine, tested the 5-pull to vet the machine, then, and that's what I was talking about, Eric, where, testing with the 5-pull method, you can use it to test your casino's payouts, but you can also use it to test an individual machine. In fact, what I like to do when I go to a new to me casino, sorry, I didn't mean to stop in the middle of your comment, Magpie 11. When I go to a new casino, I do the 5-spin method on a bunch of machines because I'm trying to do several things at once. And you're beginning, so just focus on learning one thing at a time. But you'll be surprised how quickly you start doing a couple of things at a time. But what I do is just to give you a taste of where you're headed on your slots journey. I use the 5-spin method to not only try to collect taste, but also see if I can't find the most likely location strategy approach to winning on slots. So I'm selective. The 5-spin method works. If it works on all machines in the casino. But there's so many of them that you could find 20 machines that are highly visible locations that are in highly visible locations. And so I select, and if I run across a big win in my 5 spins on that machine, I'll pause the 5-spin test and I will continue to play that machine to see if it's a winning machine, because it became a candidate winning machine, and now I want to see if it actually is a winning machine. And so that's what Magpie 11 said very briefly in tested the 5-pull method to vet the machine, and then committed to 50 spins. It was a Pachanga in California. There's a whole side conversation going on computers. So Ed asks the question, I was in Las Vegas week before last, okay, and noticed that a lot of slot machines now face walking paths, bar clubs, restaurants. How would you choose a winning machine? Well, realize that a casino only realize the casino has these machines with higher odds in highly visible locations, that they have a budget. And some places that budget, like MGM Grand Detroit, there's 3 machines, right? And one by the pointing towards the smoking parlor near the elevators near the entranceway from the parking structure. This is downtown Detroit, so it's parking structure. And when you walk in, it's right there in front of you. And that's one that I won the second best on. The best machines were actually a little way up from that walkway, the main walkway from the entrance, from the parking structure, where when you're walking away from the entrance, it was right there. And when you're walking back from it, it was right there. And if you go to my website, I talk about that. So that's 3 machines in the casino. And the other side of it is Soaring Eagle in Mount Pleasant, Michigan, a tribal casino where it's every end of row machine. Sure, there's machines at one machine that's kind of pointed to the main entrance. There's if you walk your casino, this is a suggestion. If you walk the casino that you're in, what's going on, guys? Okay. If you walk the casino that you're in, find the widest aisle, walk down that widest aisle, and see where it crosses the second widest aisle. And that intersection will be a bunch of machines kind of like around it. And that's what you're looking for, because you don't know at new to you casinos, or new to trying the location strategy at that casino, if they have a lot of machines set up to be winners with highly visible locations, or a few. So what you do is you start with the biggest intersection. And since we're talking Las Vegas here, it could be a couple, they're big casinos, so it could be a couple intersections, but that's where I start. Then there's also near the cafe, but see where the high traffic is, see where most people are. Are there two casinos? Well, which one's busier? Is there a casino and a bar? Which one's busier? And they have numbers. They know themselves which one is busy, so they know if they're going to not do both, that they're going to pick the busier one because they have all the numbers, and that's what you do. And so I would try to find the most visible and basically work your way down. If the most visible machines don't have, remember my strategies are actually counter strategies. It's counter to it's a reaction to the casino's attempt to manipulate you. By having this win, and everybody runs to different slot machines, and all those are lower odds, and so they more than make their money back by doing this. And the payout on these machines that are at highly visible locations, it's not illegal. I mean, it's just a higher pay rate, and you can set it that way, and leave it, set it and forget it. But they do make good choices. They choose carefully which ones, and they have a budget for this sort of thing. They only can spend so much, even though they're making money from it. They're only going to spend so much money. So, you start with the ones that are most visible. Yeah, and I give examples when I have consultations. If you feel comfortable, I don't want to get anybody in trouble, but if you feel comfortable taking photos, then on your next Las Vegas trip, sign up for a consultation and come up from the casino with your pictures and email them to me, and we'll review. But consultations, I had 2 yesterday. I'm supposed to have another one today. It is getting to be a little packed on the schedule, but I set aside maybe a few each week. And if you want to take another trip, feel free to show me. Just remember to back out on the pictures. If you're going to take a picture of a person, it's like taking a picture of their feet too. All right, not just their face. Back up. You're going to take a picture of the entrance to the high limit room, back up and show me 50 feet in front of it what the entrance looks like, and that sort of thing. So back up so I can see what's going on. Some people have been providing like panoramics, and I'm just like, that's all kind of distorted and it's hard for me to see what's going on. Just back up. Right. And that's one of the things you can do. I saw something about my grandma. Mr. Matt Tippett. Remember, everybody, to use a hashtag question in front of your comment. Otherwise, I will not spot it right away. I just happened to notice that this was a question. How do you pick a good slot machine to play? There's a bunch of different ways. Basically, you're looking to take advantage of the casino trying to take advantage of you, and there's several ways that they could do it. I have 10 strategies based on how casinos try to manipulate you, but not every casino has every strategy, right? So the 5-pull method worked great at one of my local casinos. I won hand pay after hand pay after hand pay, as it gradually reduced over 18 months because everybody was winning with that and everybody learned about it. It's easy to spot it, and it became less profitable for the casino once everybody realized you could do it. But then it didn't exist at all in the downtown Cincinnati area casino, and that one was come back a week later to sync your gameplay to the casino's schedule and use that to your advantage. So basically take the course and go through the different strategies and see which one your casino has. But there's also quite a bit more before getting to the strategies, because you have to actually understand that it's counter strategies and that the casinos are trying to manipulate you, and how these are not trying to make you lucky, that you have to keep records that will actually say which casino you tried what at, because it's casino by casino, because every casino is different, not to mention every state. So there's a lot of casinos. You can walk through a pathway, and there are slots on both sides. Which one do you pick that may be somewhat loose? If you are they straight rows? I've been down straight aisles, and I've been down curved aisles, right? So when I'm going to go slowly here. So you're doing this, and there's a slot machine right there, right in front of it, and then you turn like this, and there's slot machines over here you can't see, and slot machines over there you can't see, but now you're pointed at it. This is great for Derby City in Kentucky. Curved, pointed right at it. You're walking towards it before you turn on the path. You're walking towards it before you turn on the path. That gives you 1, 2, 3, 4 machines when you just walk by 100 machines. 4 out of 100. I'm not saying it's all 4 of those. It might be, but that's what you're looking for. Now, that's because the paths are all curved. If it's a straight line, then you're looking for intersections, or the end of the aisle, which can end in the high limit area. I'm not saying going into the high limit area. I'm saying what's going on outside of the high limit room. It is usually the biggest walkway, and that's practically an intersection where people stop, don't want to go into the high limit room, and guess what? There's a machine right there you should play. Yeah. And so each one of these methods is each one of these ways to find it is part of what I try to teach in the course. A lot of different things, casino, what their imagination can come up with. I love cafes. I love largest intersections, but sometimes, like at Soaring Eagle, it doesn't, end of every row makes it a little bit easier. Don't have to think so hard. Big Sam question. I took a small box from an abandoned building a few weeks ago, and 6 guys have been following me. Do you think I should? I see. Okay. And that's not a serious question. We only take serious questions, Big Sam. Okay. Let me see here. Take a look at that. Boom, 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 boom. Right. Good. Sorry. Today. Okay. I guess there's a promotional event at Maryland Live in Maryland. Sorry, it's obvious. A 10-year anniversary. They were picking 10 card holders that were card holders over 10 years to pick 10 people to win $1,000. So at my casino, the rule was 20 people for $2,000. They're going to pick 20 people, but the 20 people, they had entries, and the entries were a number of hand pays in the last 3 months. And that's how many entries you got. So a lot of people, they had to have had a hand pay. This was only sent out to those people who had a hand pay, and a bunch of them only had one. And I walked in there and walked up to the counter, and I said, I'd like to register for the promotion. And the guy put my card in, and he looked at it, and he said, 51 hand pays. And I'm like, yeah. And he looked up and he's like shouted, 51 hand pays. And then he looks at his coworker, 51 hand pays. Yes. So I won $2,000. Yeah. Flip says, you started off okay. Hashtag, are the strategies you share in your 30-day program appropriate to use at? Oh, yeah. A lot of people think that tribal casinos don't have gaming regulations. Well, technically not with the state. It's actually in the compact, and it's more strict than most commercial casinos because there's a national Indian Gaming Commission, which all of them have to work through. So it's actually kind of like one gaming commission, and there might be some oversight from the state, and that's actually better, more robust, less variation in the gaming regulations. But a lot of people think that tribal casinos are unregulated, and it's just like they're not on the national. It's not on the gaming commission for your state. So it's just elsewhere and tougher. So it's like a complete 180 from the reality. Yes, the strategies work, but the strategies at any casino, using my strategies at any casino depends on the strategy that the casino uses. My strategies are counter strategies to what the manipulation the casino is trying to employ. And not every casino uses every strategy they could to manipulate you. 1 in 4 casinos have the 5 pull method. Some casinos don't even have 1 week later. I saw one casino that did nothing, Delta Downs in Louisiana, but they've since renovated and they made a bunch of changes. I walked in and I was like, you could just see there were no highly visible machines. I mean, you have to work hard at that. You can stand in front 50 feet in front of the high limit room and you can look into the high limit room, only they put a tree there, a little potted tree, to block the view. Like, what were you thinking? It's like they didn't know anything, and they've since changed all that layout. And now I love it when casinos try to manipulate you. You might say, well, it's not great that they try to manipulate you. And I'm like, manipulate them right back. If they're manipulating you, that means you can manipulate them. And if they don't try to manipulate you, you got nothing to go on. It's like Illinois slots in bars and taverns. It's like, come on, give me something to work with. You're learning something about the way I think. You go to WinStar in Oklahoma. Be aware that my strategies mostly work for class 3. There's a few that work for class 2. Like, for instance, the 5 spin strategy works for class 2, not because class 2 bingo machines give out taste, but because my 5 spin strategy is actually very complicated. Even though it's 5 spins, it's an easy description, but it has a built-in loss limit and a built-in preserving gains, where the way to use 5 spins is to get up from the machine when you have a win, but also not to stay too long. And when loss limits and preserving gains is by itself is a great way to win. So you might try that on bingo machines, but know the difference between class 2 and class 3, because a lot more of my strategies work on class 3. And if you try to use many of them on class 2 machines, then you're wasting your money. And that's why the strategies are not the first thing I talk about in the course, because I need to tell you how to use them properly. And all this other stuff about tribal gaming compacts and state gaming commissions and a lot more. I could tell you, but it'd take me 30 days. Actually, you don't have to take 30 days to take the course. You can do it a lot faster, but make sure you don't do it too much faster. I don't want people to like skip it. I had one person who complained to me about the course. I don't get complaints, but I did get this complaint, and I can, if I want to, I can go into the course and I can check how long they spent on each lesson, and the person had spent half the course, and I counted 36 minutes for time spent, and that's half an hour per lesson, and you can get the whole course done in like 15 straight hours, but then that's pretty tiring. I usually recommend no less than four days, partly because some of the homework is to actually go to your casino and go looking for some of the stuff that maybe you've never heard to look for before. And so it's field trips. So I should use the word field trips. Yeah. Tony says, what is the best time to visit on weekends? Well, in Nevada, it's not a good time at all. From Friday sometime in the afternoon, maybe 10 o'clock in the morning is maybe too early, but basically I've said Fridays from 10 o'clock in the morning till Mondays at 10 o'clock in the morning are not good times in Nevada. Not just Las Vegas, but Wendover and Jackpot and all the different cities on the borders to other states in Nevada. It's just something that Nevada likes to do is fleece the locals, excuse me, fleece the visitors. And then during the week when the locals play, they win more. And on average for the week, they got solid numbers for the returns. But I assume that you're not, not too many other states seem to have picked up on that. And so the best time to go on weekends, I like before noon. I'm in Ohio, Southwest Ohio. So I like before noon on Sundays because the church folk don't usually show up until like 11:30, almost noon, until after they get out of church. And that's the time when there's a lot of idle machines, and that's one of the strategies that works well in my local casino. So I needed to come at a time when not many people were at the casino, and it was on a weekend because I had a day job. So it was all it all kind of like came together for three different reasons to be at that casino before 11:30 and start playing before be done by 11:45 noon, and that's what worked for me. Yeah. Otherwise, not big promotional nights because that's when they ask a lot of people to be there. And when your casino asks you to be there, and everybody to be there, that's a clue that they're going to take a lot of people's money and the manipulation. So when the casino's full and nobody's winning, that's if you're there, don't play. This is another one of my strategies. Talk about in the course. If you are there and nobody's winning and the casino's half full or three-quarters full or anything like that, or full, get a clue. But when everybody's winning, and I have these observations myself Friday nights, and nobody's winning, and then a couple hours later, there's hundreds of hand pays being handed out. Not more people, just the odds improved. So you can listen for it. Lots of caveats here. Sometimes the biggest casinos are a dull roar every minute, and so it's hard to tell. But I hope that gives you a clue and a couple of things that you can look for. When I talk about these strategies and I talk about approaches, there's just so much going on. I have article after article after article after article after article. You have question after question after question after question, and it all makes sense. It's all good questions. And yeah. DL says, my buddy says if you can sit for 10 hours at the same machine, the odds go up to 100%. He said he won 4 million last year and once sat at a machine for 84 hours. Is he right? No. The 4 million, you don't ask somebody how much they won. You ask somebody how much profit they got. You can win $4 million. All it takes is $5 million. See? So was he making a profit? That's the first thing you ask anybody. It's like the first paragraph of my book. I was winning. I won this many hand pays. And you should be asking yourself, did I make a profit? And I did, 30%. So when you win at slots, if you're not me, spending money to learn how to teach you what else works, if you just find something that works, you can make a 50% profit. So this gentleman, he had $8 million to spend to make $4 million. If that $4 million is indeed profit, who plays like that? If you've got the money, play. I've had people who have money, lawyers and stuff, and they contact me for a consultation, and they say, I don't mind losing the money. Actually, I don't mind spending the money. I mind losing the money because when I go home, I don't feel good. It doesn't bother me that I'm losing the money. It bothers me that I don't feel good. And so I haven't even heard what your buddy says, even as a myth. Front Row Productions says, hashtag question, I'll be in Atlantic City the week of the 4th of July. The 4th of July is very big in AC. Lots of promotions. Do you think your 4 a.m. to 6 a.m. Slot strategy the next morning would be good? It's completely up to the casino. There's two possibilities. Well, three. They don't have it. They don't do that accounting balancing at 4 o'clock to 6:30 in the morning. Play 10 minutes during that period, or just stand in your high limit room and stand there and see if anybody else wins. And if nobody wins, there's two possibilities: that the casino doesn't have it, and the other possibility is the casino does have it, but they didn't need to do it because they guessed right and they didn't have to do a counting balance update. And those who know my strategy know what I'm talking about. And if you don't, then I probably gave enough information for you to figure it out, even if you have to rewind and listen to it again. But the third possibility is that that you'll see a win, and usually they're pretty big jackpots, so you don't have to win every time. I can't tell you if the casino does that. Even if I did know whether or not the casino did that, I might have heard something 6 months ago. And there's so many ownership changes on commercial commercial casinos that you really do have to evaluate what's going on now. I teach people in the course, and I don't mean to go on about the course, the topics, and give it all away for free. But oops, well, lucky you. And this live stream will be public for the next week. But in any case, what you're getting from the course is that one of the things is that this sort of thing. Sorry, my voice. Can have can be an effect and might not be an effect, and so that's what you have to watch out for. I forget exactly my point there, but I guess I won't tell you that particular part of what's in the online course. Jeff says, question, if you typically play the floor machines rather than high room, and most people do, no fault there, your opinion on better odds playing on a busy Sunday night or going early in the morning after a busy night? I've found reasons to go early in the morning after a busy night. I found things that the casino is just doing that I take advantage of. Maybe your casino does those things too. Maybe it doesn't. On a Saturday night, honestly, even though the number of people don't change, you can go from like one hand pay in an hour and a half. I saw that at Firekeepers, to hundreds of hand pays in an hour and a half. An hour and a half later. And it was the same number of people spending the same amount of money. And people talk about randomness, and I'm like, randomness is not a black and white situation. There's many forms of randomness. You can see it in the state gaming regulations. I had a consultation yesterday for somebody that was in the Philippines, in Malin, no, what is it, in the Philippines, and not pronouncing it right, too many vowels. It's the gaming, the country's gaming regulations are in English, and it's very clear. By the way, Philippines is the fastest growing slots community in the world. It has been for like 6 months to a year. It's just booming. But in any case, they got some, Resorts World, and they've got some other Solari. It's just beautiful resorts. And in any case, I was reading the country's gaming requirements, and it's all right there. It's all possible. Sure, they got theoretical payout limits, but it's over the lifetime of the machine. And it says things like, the random behavior is based on, on the desired random distribution. And it's such a mild statement, but I'm like doing cartwheels over that in my mind, not actually. And because when you talk about a desired random distribution, there are many, 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 many random distributions. And now I'm talking calculus, but many, 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 many random distributions. And it says right there, that's whatever desired by the casino. There you go. So at 6:30, no hand pays. An hour and a half later at 8 o'clock at Firekeepers, hundreds of hand pays. It's not illegal. Says right there in the gaming regulations. You just have to know calculus. Yeah, wording is important. So that wasn't a question. Blasters said, can the casino ban me for using your strategies? Thanks for your work. First of all, I'm not popular. I'm trying to be. So they don't know my strategies. They're not on the lookout for my strategies yet. When I become the largest slots channel, then even then, the largest slots channel is like 525,000 subscribers. It's small. All respect to the people working so hard to build the subscriber base on their slots channels where you just watch somebody play. But where's the 1 million subscriber channel? Where's the 10 million subscriber channel? It's all small potatoes. And I feel that my channel will be larger eventually. It's only been like a year and a half, and I'm already up to past 40,000 subscribers. And if people want to watch other people win money, pretend to by recording the whole thing, but only editing out long losing sections so they can get the thrill of winning from watching other people win, even though that individual spent $10,000, but they got their money back from YouTube views. That's how it works for them. If there's a live stream, that's what you want to watch because it actually, you like this, you can't cut out large sections. It's comes at you as it is. My dog barks, it's in there. So live streams to get a better feel for what's really going on. But that equipment costs and they don't often do that. Some do. And because they've taken this criticism and said, oh yeah, I edit and people are like, come on. But if you want to watch somebody else win, do that. If you want to win, watch me. I think I've got 10x better reason for people to watch my channel than to watch other people play. Money in your hand. But will they ban me? Not for a long time. If you want an example, consider the movie 21 about the MIT students playing blackjack, and card counting. It took 20 years. Has it been 20 years, 25 years since that came out? First the students went, they won money and till the casino like recognized them and stopped them. Maybe even incorporated government issued ID for when you win over a certain amount. And that's why we have something like that. It's a good reason, but there's other reason to have that sort of thing. Taxes, for instance, IRS wanting to have those taxes. But one of the things was to block these card counters because then if you know who it is, you can prevent them from playing. So it's a kind of a back and forth. So those group of people who knew how to win from the casino started teaching others the casino didn't have the ID for. And then they went. So the casino was like, oh no, it's spread. So we'll install in surveillance cameras to watch. And if that person splits their tens all the time, then we know that they're a card counter, but we got to watch for like an hour before, we can kick them out. And then one of the other things they did was like go from 3 decks, 2 decks, 3 decks to more decks and more decks. And now they got infinite shufflers. But all this back and forth is what you can expect between me and the casinos. And in 21, it took 25 years for card counting to be chopped. And it's very recent that they had these infinite card decks. And so I figured, yeah, it's not the 70s anymore. It's not the 80s anymore. Um, not even the 90s anymore. So we probably have 10 years, 5, 10 years before any such banning. And what is it? You saw somebody else win. You walk in, you sit down for 5 minutes, and you play the machine, and you win a big hand pay, and you walk out. What are they going to do? Notice that you saw somebody win on it exactly a week before? And so, they're going to have a tough time of having a reason to ban you. Now, there is a simple way to ban you, which is if you win, you're out. And people do that now. I mean, tribal casinos will do that now, put you in tribal jail and other things that I've heard and read in books about you know the casinos not liking it when you win. They can ask you to leave. It's quite legal, and you're not breaking the law by going there. But if they ask you to leave and you don't, then you're breaking the law. And so, yeah, you can get arrested for that sort of thing. And that is uh, one of the things that they can do now to anybody that wins. Yeah. Now, would they remove my strategies? My strategies are counter strategies, and they're based on ways that the casino is trying to manipulate you into spending more money. But then, if they want to give you a little bit of money, when you first sit down at the machine, they want you to spend what you brought with you, go get more at the ATM. But in fact, if you actually take that, go to the next machine, take that early win, go to the next machine, take that early win to, collect those tastes. That's a counter strategy to they're trying to get you to stay longer and spend that money in your own and go borrow some. So, would they ever get rid of the 5 spin method? I think more casinos. I didn't know this strategy 10 years ago. I know it. I saw it in a rerun of a Columbo episode from the early 70s, like season 1, where the one where he goes on a cruise. So there are. It is done. Has been done for many years. I suspect pretty much every casino had it, but now it's only 1 in 4 casinos. 25% of them have it, and so it's kind of going away. If some of my winning strategies based on their attempts to manipulate you, they're not going to actually get rid of. They're not actually going to get rid of the method that's winning them so much money. It would have to. Everybody in the casino would have to be doing it. Like when I saw the 5 spin method working at my local casino, not because I told them, but because everybody, it's really obvious. So, yeah. And thank you, Paula, for sharing my merchandise site. Yeah, let me just go to that for you. And show you. Yeah, so this is the products. If you go to all products, that's what this is. That's what this is. And one of the things I suggest is not putting up 170 products because it's just too many choices for people to make. So I picked what would be most popular. And this is what's currently on the chest or the back or on on a polo shirt and on the cup and on the mug and all of that. So there's accessories. I like the little pouch here. Oh, look at that. It's temporarily out of stock. The hat. And I used to have something else. That's my older one. By popular demand, I changed it to bankroll size. Doesn't matter. It's how you use it. And that's so professorslots.com/merchandise. Thank you for asking. Let's see. Right. So Blasters says, is drink maxing Is drink mass drink? I mean, like alcohol? uh, it's if so, you're asking a question about drinking large amounts of free soda. And is it a viable strategy to profit against the casino? It doesn't sound like you're asking a serious question, Blasters. Uh, why don't you go to a why don't you go to a fast food place and get the small cup if you're going to eat in the restaurant, and just fill it 15 times, self-serve. Thank you, Paula. He's gone. Sometimes you have to do that. Can you get banned for drinking? I don't think so. I don't see why. It's free, right? Now, if they're not soda, and there's a little something something in them, that's a different one. And Fun says, please click the like button for this video. It helps for people to see it's going on, and that would be awesome to get more people in and asking questions. Yeah. Some people just want to get their questions asked. Yeah, sure. Will a fast food restaurant kick you out by getting the small cup and filling it 15 times? Yeah, and Linda's response was, the more that you drink, the more you have to go to the bathroom, and the more you go to the restroom, there are no slot machines in the restroom, so you're not paying, and that's not not what the casino wants. If you use the casino's money after turning in your wins, are their bills recognizable to their machine, so you won't win more? No. Um, there's a couple assumptions here. I like to point out the technology difficulties, and I don't mean recognizing the serial number and having those spread around. Uh, um, I know some people are very worried about what's that code that's on the voucher that was just printed off and now they're tracking me or something like that. I have people that are concerned about it, and they got rid of their concern by using small bills. If you want to go back to the cashier's cage and get a couple of those hundreds that they gave you broken down into 20s, and nobody's going to keep track of all of those numbers for you. And you can see that by just watching them handle the money. They pull it out of the drawer and they do that. But if you are concerned, then just, somebody's following you, what you can do is backtrack and do the standard techniques to make sure they can't follow you. So you can do the same thing with the sorry guys, a distracting message. I started this conversation about being distracted. Uh, so you can, if you want to relieve yourself of that, then there's ways to just not do it. To go back to the casino and switch, take the hundreds they give you, get back in line at the casino, ask them to make them 20s, get back in line at the casino, ask them to make hundreds from your 20s. And that's one thing that you said, that they're not going to be keeping track of all this. Now the second thing is, you have assumed that you won't win more, but the casino does what it needs to do. If they made everybody lose, they could exceed the lower limit on their state's gaming requirements, and get in serious trouble with major fees. So I don't know why you didn't equally say, so you would win more. You're recognizable, so you would win more. It's either way. And the casino recognizes that as many times as they make it so that if they were to do this, and I'm trying to get to the point where it just to show you how it cancels out. If they win more, then if you win more because they set it up that way, then they need to set it up that way for you to win less too, and vice versa. Otherwise, they can get in serious trouble. Oh, let's just make everybody lose and track all their money, and then we won't give any money back. And that's completely illegal. And if you don't care about legal, it's completely upsetting. People will, riot. The players recognize when nobody's winning, and that's awful. And people go away and don't come back. And that is something that the casinos avoid. So a couple of different things in what you're saying. Technology isn't there to recognize all of that. If it was there, casinos wouldn't pay for it because they're cheap. They're cheap. For instance, they make a medium-sized casino in Indiana. It makes $518 per slot machine per day. Profit. I mean, before paying casino employees and before paying for the electric bill. So this is 10% of the 100%. People put 100% in, got back 90%. So this is the 10%, and it's per machine at a mid-sized casino in Indiana. It's a number that they provide with return statistics. And for 30.4 days, that's a little over not quite $18,000 per machine. And for a row of 5 of them, which is about what you might need as far as space for any sort of computer that was tracking all of this in the back room, they could make $2.1 million per month. Sure, if you're going to have that sort of equipment, just put slot machines in, and it's a guaranteed money, instead of running the risk of being shut down because you're performing illegal activities. The casinos don't have to do anything illegal because they're already making money, and so they can just do the stuff that makes them money and not have no worries in the world. So what I have on my shirt is a logo. It is Professor Slots. It is embroidered, and it is an employee shirt. If I could possibly put it on my website, I would, but this is custom order. Yeah, so someday I'll have employees and I'll give them to other people, but give them, they'll work for it. And I've been sitting so much lately. So yeah, that's what it's an embroidered shirt. If I could find a vendor that made it so that people could order it, I might do it. I might not. It's terribly expensive, far more expensive than the inkjet printing that you would see on some of the products that are out there now. And it's not for much different. Yeah. Employee shirt. That's what it. So Owl says, if you use the casino's money after turning your wins. Oh, we already asked that. Okay. Question. If you win a handbag and the possibility of another on the same machine. Oh, hand pay. If you win a hand pay and the possibility of another on the same machine, do you test it with the vice spin or play a little longer? Thank you. That's 2 different things. If you're there to test the 5-spin strategy, focus and do that. And so I recommend this to beginners, which I think I've talked to you before, and you're not a beginner, but beginners do one thing. Now, you can do more than one thing when you go to the casino, but do one thing at a time, and then do something else. But this is not the advice that I give people who understood some of my material, where they have done one thing and they know how to do it, and they have done something else and they know how to do it, because the natural thing that happens is you start combining them. So I think that you are advanced enough in having done one and having done the other that now you're naturally starting to think about combining them. I do this all the time. What you're describing is I do this all the time. I go to new to me casinos, um, and uh, uh, and I do the 5 spin method because I don't know if they have tastes. But as I go through all of that, and sometimes they don't even have tastes, but I keep on going for 20 machines because I'm also checking to see if I could come across a big win, and that's a candidate winning machine. In which case, if I do, then I pause it, and this is what I did at MGM Grand Detroit. I went ahead with 20 machines, even though they don't have 5 spin taste, because I was looking for machines at the same time. And it's, play it a couple times, move on, play it a couple times, move on is a great way to find a machine that suddenly, well, I won a lot on that initial win. I wonder if I were to keep playing it. And so I pause the test and keep playing. So I do one, pause, do the other. Okay, it's not winning anymore. Go back to my test and then keep going. Back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. Yeah. I want to say thank you to Linda K for the super chat. Thanks for the live stream and tips. Linda K says, thank you, Linda, for the $10 donation. Also, thank you, Linda, another Linda, different spelling, for your $20 donation. Thank you so much. I do appreciate this. But let's get back to questions. Doug says, I'm headed to Las Vegas the end of this month, beginning of August. Besides reviewing casino returns and using winning strategies and avoid weekends, do you have any other suggestions? Yes. So what we found, and you can confirm this with Magpie 11. She's in our Slots Enthusiast Growth Network, and she goes to Las Vegas. Magpie 11 goes to Las Vegas all the time. Somebody's waving at the kitty. She's asleep now, and as is Isaac down at my feet. But there are others downstairs. Earlier today, they knocked over a bar stool. It's like I didn't even know it was possible. They must have launched themselves off of it. In any case, if you are familiar with Las Vegas, the 5 spin method works. When I say works, I mean it gives out tastes, but they can't turn it off, but they can turn it up and down. So how much you win varies. And so go and check to see if the casino's paying out by doing the 5 spin method, even though they all have it. What you want to do, what you're checking is with minimum bets, is what you're checking is to see if the casino has a good return. Now you can also listen, to see if other people are winning. And you could watch for that if it's really noisy at the time that you're there. But you can also spend a little money and finding out whether or not it's a good time. And if it isn't, go for a walk, go have some wonderful food, see a show, check again later. And this is the way to assess how that casino is going right then. Yeah. And I hope that you find times when it pays out, and it's not one of those months where they just say nobody wins. We all agree, right? Nobody wins. Okay. So I hope it's not like that. More water. Yeah. So yeah, and that goes for anyone who is going to Las Vegas. That's so what Doug is talking about is watch out for casinos, review the returns beforehand, watch out for weekends, review the returns beforehand, try the winning strategies, and then the 5 spin method is a tool for assessing both the casino, and if you want to use it to go from one machine to the next, to also assess the slot machines in a cheap manner with minimum bets. The 5 spin method has a variety of uses: loss limits, preserving gains, assessing casinos, assessing machines. It's useful. DL says, are you going to gamble that $10? You talking to oh, um, sort of. I'm putting together travel money to go to Oklahoma. And I would like to be able to talk more about Class 2 machines. Not everybody has them, but certainly the people who, some people, that's all they play. And there's no casinos near me. I think the nearest one is like 300 miles away, and it's just one. So there's one that's 4 hours away. There's some in Alabama. I think that's 6 hours away drive, and then 9 hours away in Oklahoma. Ho Chunk Madison in Wisconsin has some, but I figure Oklahoma is the big state with Class 2 machines. Not only do they have a lot of tribal casinos, but the tribal casinos prefer to have at least half on a state average Class 2 machines. And so that's the place for me to go to get some more details about winning on Class 2 machines. And I'm putting together travel funds to be able to go. No, uh, I don't plan on gambling it. I plan on spending gas, which, is a gamble. Yeah, awesome question. Um, So improve your slots performance in 30 days or less with my 30 days to play slots smarter and win, where you'll where's it at? There it is. Where you'll get 3 free valuable bonuses plus 1 month free membership in my Slots Enthusiast Growth Network, where you get community support and accountability. Every week we have a Zoom meeting, face-to-face Zoom meeting, and it's been pretty exciting. An hour goes by really quickly, and we'll have to do something about that. It's getting to the point where there's so many people that I have to kind of figure out how to give everybody accountability and support. And I have a few ideas about that. But visit professorslots.com/30 days to learn more about the free bonuses, course content, and testimonials from participants. But the price does go up on, there it is. It does go up on Sunday evening, where it will no longer be discounted at 50% off for $100 savings, as it's been for over a year. You have until 10 p.m. tomorrow, Sunday, to lock in this 50% off for lifetime access to the course. And if you already have it, then you're good. There will be another price increase in about in the around the first week of August and the beginning of August, as I will be having some updates to the course, not so much content as kind of the way I teach and having bullet points and that sort of slide presentation, as well as what I say now. And that's one of the changes. Any other questions? Yeah, Slots of Fun says, uh, uh, love the Zoom meetings. Thanks for coming to all of them. And, yeah, hoping more join us. We've already got, we've gone from like 3 people to 9 people, and now we want more. Sure. But it is, you know, you go to that for support and accountability. And we ask questions of each other. Today's live stream was based on a question I got during all that. So there's a lot of content, a lot of ideas, and I didn't use like 5 different things that were talked about. I used this one to make the topic for today's live stream. And yeah, Oklahoma has Class 2 slot machines. Yes, they have about half of them. Half of their machines are Class 2 bingo style slot machines, but not every casino has. Not every tribal casino in Oklahoma has them. It is something they decide, but on average, it's around half of the machines in the state of Oklahoma. Most tribal casinos, like in Michigan, they don't have any Class 2 because people prefer Vegas style slot machines, but people in Oklahoma have gotten used to it. And also there's a fee to the state that are on Class 3 machines, and the tribal casinos felt that was unfair. It could well be that way. And so they said, well, if you want to play, you have to play a Class 2 machine, which doesn't have a fee that has to be passed on down to the player, or at least in part. And so, yeah, they decide to have Class 2 machines, and it's a going thing. Yeah. So, that's it. What a great live stream. You'll see me in my next live stream on Tuesday at 7 p.m. Eastern. And in the meantime, watch this video on how to use my repeat wins 4x strategy, location, 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 to win at your casino. Bye.